Hello, madam. Hello, Miss Gray, Miss Janet.
Yes, I can hear you, ma. You
Yes,
can
I
go
can
ahead
hear
with
you,
your
ma. You can go
presentation.
ahead with your
Kindly
presentation.
introduce
Can
yourself.
you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Adr Faith Ojima, and in this presentation, we we are addressing a case of a bully student in
Bully
a school.
student in a school.
We are addressing a case of a bully student in a school.
Mr. Godwin, just
Mr.
go ahead and
Godwin, just
introduce
go ahead and
yourself.
introduce yourself.
Okay, good evening,
Okay, this
brothers and
evening,
boys.
um, very
In this
good.
presentation, we are looking
In
at
this
an issue that
presentation,
happened
we are
in a
looking
school
at an issue that
concerning a
happened
bullying student.
in
Mr. Friday, are you with us?
Yes, I can hear you, ma.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Mr. Friday, if you can hear me, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, ma. I am Mr. Friday, the parent of um, one Mr. Edmond. They are largely bullying students.
All right. Mary Grace, please introduce yourself so we can start the presentation.
No.
Mr. Paul, you're welcome. Can you hear me? Please kindly introduce yourself.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Good evening, ma.
You're welcome. Please, can you go ahead with the presentation? Time is already fast spent.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity given to us to make this our presentation this evening. The case before us this evening, that of the bullying and bullied student. This involves two families. That is the family of the bullying student and that of the bullied student, and of course the school management or the school administration. We received a complaint from one Mr. Godwin with regards to the bullying of his son by his classmates. He's demanding a compensation of 200,000 naira as treatment bill for his son's injury, an additional 200,000 naira for the classes he missed during the period uh, he stayed at home, making the total sum of 400,000 naira. He's also asking for an immediate suspension of the accused student from the school. Um, we have met with some of the family members. That is the two parties involved. We have been making some negotiation and arrangement with them. So at this moment, we come together to on the issue at hand. So yes, exactly. This is 2 p.m. Thank you for keeping to time as agreed. This shows that we are willing and ready to get this matter resolved. Once again, I welcome you all. I welcome the two families and the school management. My name is Mr. Paul Dache, once again, an ADR professional working with the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Resolution, Conflict Management, Better Foundation Plaza, plot 359, B2 Ikiwe Street, Jabi here in Abuja. We have intervened in several conflict and food issues over the years, and have been able to come up with effective resolutions that are satisfactory to all the parties involved. And we look forward to finding a lasting solution to the conflict between the two families, the school management, with all of you going home satisfied. We want to know, I want you to know that at this center, the following are our goals. Number one, about effective resolution addressing the underlying issues that lead to conflicts. Number two, we carry out long-term solutions that prevent future disputes by improving relationship and communications, because we discover that most of the times the issue we have in conflict is a communication gap. So we improve relationship and communication. Thirdly, we encourage dialogue and understanding between affected parties. And the fourth one is we protect the interests of all parties involved. And eventually we arrive at a solution that is satisfactory to all the parties. So this evening, I want to set the ball rolling. And before we begin, I want to set some guidelines for respectful communication, which we refer to as ground rules. Some of these ground rules will guide us, all the ground rule will help us and guide us in this discussion. One of the rules is that what we discuss here must remain here, which that is what we call Vegas rule. What we discuss here, please let it remain here. Number two, tackle the problem, not the people. Don't tackle or attack each other, but the problem at hand. Use the language that addresses the problem at hand. And then the third one is use I statement. This implies that you speak for yourself and not using language that generalizes assumption and option for everyone. And the last rule this evening is the windshield rule. The windshield rule means we look ahead with the aim of finding solution rather than dwelling on what has happened. Our aim of gathering here to address this issue is to find solution. We want to believe that what has happened. So let's just make way forward to finding solution. Now, having said the ground rules, I'd like to invite the complainant in person of Mr. Godwin, who is the parent of the bullied student, to present his case before us. Mr. Godwin, can you please go ahead and present your case before this commission this afternoon? Thank you, Mr. Godwin.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Godwin George, the parent of Polycat. Now, I sent my child to a school, and in the class, there were issues that my child was being bullied, and he was attacked by his class captain. And this has resulted to my child leaving the school, not being in school, and has been hospitalized with a lot of injury was inflicted on him. And I wouldn't understand why in a school that children should be protected alongside the academic. But I can't send a child to a school, and at the end of the day, my child comes with injuries, with a lot of abuse by his fellow students. So I will not know the competence of the class teacher, because the class teacher should be able to protect the interests of a student and the school management. So I want to know, what was the school authority doing? What is the class teacher doing that could not monitor what has happened in the school? So I am demanding payment for the damages I've caused my child. Have treated him. I spent money that I did not propose for it. And a lot of abuse. My child emotionally is unstable, because you can't learn when your emotion is not stable. He has been attacked verbally and physically. So I learned that his classmates have to get his friends to attack my child in the class. And these things have been going on. This is not the first time that he has been verbally abused, but this time it gets worse. Not just verbally abused, but also being attacked, inflicted with injuries. So this is my case, that where was the teacher, the class teacher, and what is the school doing in addressing issues of this nature? Because I can't send my child to school and coming back with injuries, with abuses, with a lot of attacks. The school should be a safe place for learning. So I don't know what is going on. So this is my case. I need damages have to be paid for all I have spent, and the school authority should address this issue. I need to know what actually transpired and what was the teacher doing. What was the teacher doing? So I want to get to know this, and that money should be paid for the injuries that have been inflicted on my child. Thank you.
Yes, that was the voice of Mr. Godwin, the complainant. We thank you for sharing your own side of the story as the parent of the bullied student. Now, we've just heard your own side. It is only fair that we also hear from the other parent, the parent of the bullying student, that is Mr. Friday. Mr. Friday, what really transpired? What happened? Can you tell us, Mr. Friday? Mr. Friday, can you tell us what transpired? Okay, I am Mr. Friday. My son came back home the other day and narrated the story of what happened at school. He has been accused actually of bullying, but the story Mr. Godwin has just narrated is different from what my son told me. He actually told me that this classmate of his, he has not been so serious with his studies. My son happens to be the class captain of the class. He's not taking his studies seriously. He's not copying the note. When it is time to sweep the classroom, he doesn't do that. And he's always finding of making trouble. So on that fateful day, he tried to advise him and say, as a family friend, can you just, let's talk together. This thing you are doing will not pay you. It will not be good for you. And before my son know what is happening, he started pushing on the forehead and started insulting him and say, you that your parent cannot pay your school fees, look at who is advising me, this and that. And at the end of the day, you know, he started pushing on the forehead. And in a defense, my son, in an attempt to defend himself, he pushed him back in self-defense. And as he pushed him back, he injured himself, falling on one of the chairs. And that's what has resulted to this issue. So that is my own son's narration as the parent of the bullying student. So it is not true. It is not true that my son bullied the other son. I mean, his classmate. Now, we have heard from the two parents, the parents of the bullied student and the bullied student. Now, we requested that the two students must be here, because what happens sometimes is that the students have the tendency of narrating the story to their parents, what they feel like. The story, they have a way of twisting it to suit themselves. So in this case, we requested that the two students must be present in this hearing. So do we have the two students available? Mr. Polycarp and Mr. Edwin, do we have them available here? Is Polycarp around?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Polycarp.
Present.
The bullied student. Okay. Mr. Polycarp. Tell us. Can you tell us your own story? Can you narrate what really happened? We don't have much time. So we just want to go straight to the. We just want you to go straight to the point and tell us what really happened, what transpired between you and your classmate.
All right, thank you. I was just in the class sitting and trying to study my bookwork, and Edmond came to me and began to insult me, began to abuse me, began to call me all manner of names, that I'm Olodo, that I can't read, that I can't write, I don't know anything. So they started that, and the whole class was laughing at me. The whole class was laughing at me, and I responded. I responded in that process. He hit me. I also responded. I hit him back. So that was what actually transpired. And this now has been the first time that these things have been going. I've been abusing me since before now. Has been looking for my trouble since before now. So that was what actually transpired. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Polycarp. Yes, you have narrated your side of the story. And the reason why we have tried to find out from the students themselves, we're not witch hunting anybody, we're peacemaker. We just want to arrive, at the resolution, and that is sustainable. Now, I also want to hear the other student, Mr. Edmond. Bullying
Yes,
student.
sir.
Is he around to narrate his
Yes,
side of the story?
I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Okay. Now we hear your side of the story. Edmond.
Okay, thank you, sir. I am Mr. Edmond, the class captain in charge of SS1A. And as this class captain, I have specific responsibilities to maintain peace, orderliness, and tranquility within my class. And as the class captain, I have tried several times to correct Mr. Polycarp the way he insult me most of times. Understand? So on that fateful day, he started insulting me again to the level of coming to my seat to push me on my forehead. And in order to defend myself, I responded. That's why he fell down on the seat and injured himself, which is not intentional. That was what happened.
We have heard your own side of the story. Now, having heard from all, yes, having heard from all the, I like to make some few interrogations in order for us to find a way forward. Now, let me ask some few questions, starting with Mr. Polycarp. Mr. Polycarp, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Mr. Polycarp.
Sir?
Yes, please, Mr. Polycarp, when and where the incident happened? Yes,
It
please.
happened in the class.
Ọ ga-ekwu nọ na skul eweze kpọọ m.
Please. Hello, can you hear me, Mr.
I can hear you.
Were there other students in the class when
Yes, others were in the class, like James was in the class, Victoria was in the class, Grace was in the class.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is if there is need for us to call them for some questioning to know, they are the witnesses of what happened. So I also want to ask, when it happened, did you report to the school authority?
I didn't report because the teacher wasn't in
Mr.
class.
Polycarp, when this incident happened, okay, you did not report. Okay, now can you tell us the reason why you did not report? You decided not to report to school authority.
Most times, the school authority will only support the class captain. The teacher only support the class captain. So that was why I didn't report. I've reported cases before, they didn't respond to it.
Okay, thank you. Now, when things like this happen, we advocate, in this case, the school authority. When we do this, it helps minimize the escalation of the whole matter. The school authority would have handled this at their own level, and it wouldn't have even escalated to the parents. So we always advise as peacemaker that when something happens like this, instead of you kind of take the law into your hands, please go ahead and report to the school authority. Thank you for that response. Now, I would like to interrogate the bullying student in person of Mr. Edmond. I like to ask, when he insulted and pushed you as the class captain, did you report to any of your class teacher?
No, sir, I didn't.
Now, can you tell us why did you not report? As a captain, your duty to show good example, and by reporting like this, instead of pushing him back, you have reported. Why did you not report?
That's why there was no opportunity for me to report.
Can you hear me? Mr. Edmond, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now it's like there's a network problem here, but if you can hear me now, we
Yes,
always advise
yes,
that when things like this happen, rather than pushing him back, throw yourself and then report the case to the school authority. That is self-discipline. When we report cases like this, it saves us a lot of trouble. Sometimes our actions might not be intentional, but could result into
yes,
catastrophic experiences. So we need to be careful and
yes, sir.
Hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me.
Go on, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, so far you're doing great. Your presentation is going well, but your time is fast spent. Can somebody wrap up?
Okay, ma. Okay, we have heard from both parents and students. We would like to hear the school administrator. What do you
He's
have to
back.
say about this? Hello, school
Okay.
administrator. We would like to hear your response.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead with your response.
Okay. I want to say, all right.
hello.
Our school, once again, my name is Mary Grace, the school administrator of Federal Government College, Yaba. School is known for moral and academic excellence. At Federal Government College, we have clear codes of conduct. We have clear codes of conduct that ensure our students' well-being and academic success. These rules include the following: zero tolerance for bullying and fighting.
Sorry, to network problem. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you.
Okay,
Mr. Mr. Godwin, can you hear me?
okay, let me start
I can
over,
hear you,
right?
ma.
No,
I can
please,
hear
there's no
you.
time to start over. Your time is spent already. Can we have
All
somebody
right,
wrap
let's,
up? Mr. Godwin, kindly wrap up
Oh,
the presentation. Your
okay,
time is
so
gone already.
as I was, the following are our school codes of conduct. Number one, zero tolerance for bullying and fighting. Two, no noise making in classrooms. Three, no loitering during class school hours. Four, punctuality, that is no late arrival. Number five, mandatory classroom cleaning and tidying before assembly. Number six, respect for teachers, peers and school properties. Number seven,
Mrs. Mary Grace, can you hear me?
open communication channels for reporting incidents. Although this incident was not reported to
Mrs.
me
Mary Grace,
directly,
can you hear me?
I assure you that our class captains are trained to lead.
Come back.
Hello, Mr. Godwin, are you there?
Mr. Godwin, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please, somebody should wrap
Okay,
up the presentation.
All right.
okay. Yes, I'm back. Now, I want to wrap up the presentation. Is Mrs. Grace back? Is Mrs. Grace back? Okay, she's not back. She's not back. So, um, in summary, I want to appreciate all of you, Mr. Godwin, the complainant, who is the parent of the bullied student, and the defendant, Mr. Friday, who is also the parent of the bullying student. Now, we want to appreciate every one of you for coming before us, for the confidence reposed in us, to find lasting solution to your problem. We commend you all. I know this has got to show that we believe in justice and peace. It takes someone who is seeking after peace and peaceful coexistence to take up matters such as this to where justice will be served. At least it is when you speak out that your problem is known, and a problem known is half solved. So we also commend Mr. Friday and the school administrator for agreeing to come together with Mr. Godwin to this center. Without your cooperation, this wouldn't have been made possible. So we appreciate our student for coming to shed light on the matter at hand. Now, lastly, I want to tell Mr. Godwin, who is asking for compensation of 400,000 naira. I want to tell you that beyond compensation and suspension of Edmond, there is something much more than that. And that is the family relationship that is between the two families. Mr. Godwin, even if we give you 4,000 naira compensation, it will finish. That is money for you. If we suspend Edmond from school, he will surely resume one day, but your relationship must have been ruined. Therefore, the most important thing is our relationship with one another, which we must fight to keep and uphold. You know, these are your children and our children, and you know how children behave sometimes. Of course, occasions such as this may arise, but it is our responsibility as parents, as teachers, as government, as NGOs, as organizations such as ours, and the society at large to bring and nurture them on the right path. Children being who they are, sometimes they misbehave, not minding the existing relationship between the families. However, we must not throw away the baby with bathwater. When you use one hand to scold a child, use the other hand to draw the child close. You don't cut off your leg simply because the wound on it smells. We must not allow children to tear us apart because what binds us together is stronger than what divides us. Together we stand, divided we fall. Now the final verdict is this. Mr. Godwin, we know Edmond did push your son, which resulted to some injuries, though not intentional. He shouldn't have done that, and we apologize on his behalf. And we like you to accept our apology. Having said so, we want to rule out the issue of suspending Edmond from school, as this will affect him, it will affect him academically, it will affect him mentally, it will affect him psychologically and emotionally. However, he will write a letter of undertaking promising such will never happen again. Likewise, your son Polycarp, he will write a letter of undertaking never to misbehave or disrespect his class captain and the school authority again. To the school administrator, you must be alert and vigilant enough to know what is happening within your premises and take drastic measures where necessary before things get out of hand. You may also need to do school policy adjustment. You must not delay to inform or misbehaving in a way that is not correct. Most time parents are not aware of what their children are doing in school. Hence, we need to call their attention immediately when anything goes wrong. As for compensation of 400,000 naira for treatment, let's do it like this. Mr. Friday, Mr. Friday's family will pay the sum of 200,000 naira. The school management will pay 100,000 naira. And we will pay the sum of 100,000 naira. We're also part of this matter, and we want it to be amicable. Now, let me know. Mr. Friday, are you
Yes,
satisfied with these
yes,
verdicts?
yes. We are satisfied, sir. God bless you.
Okay. Now, can I ask, are you hearing? Are you hearing my
I can
voice?
hear you.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Is the school
We can hear you,
administrator?
sir.
Yes,
We are
The school
I'm
satisfied.
hearing.
administrator. Are you okay with?
Yes, I'm okay, sir.
Yes, I'm very much okay with the verdict.
Yes. Are you? Mr. Godwin, what do you say? The complainant.
I'm
Are you okay
very
with these
much.
verdicts?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you all for coming to this uh, Management dispute resolution center. I want to use this opportunity, this meeting, to admonish all parents to teach good morals, right values, respect, integrity, dignity, honesty, truthfulness, forgiveness, tolerance, obedience, discipline, and hard work. The Holy Book said, train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. This is where I'm reporting. Thank you, Mr. Registrar. Thank you, colleague.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much,
much.
That
and God
was
bless
quite
you.
a wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much, and God
Yes.
bless you.
Well, Mr. Paul Abbas. But Mr. Godwin, thank
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.